You have likely encountered reports of Kenyans who have been deployed to Russia on the belief that they would perform operational jobs only to end up on the front lines. Tonight, NTV speaks to the two men. A Kenyan who is currently serving on the Russian front line in the war against Ukraine, and another one who managed to escape and returned home. Kenya's foreign ministry, caught in the middle, is now racing to rescue more citizens as the Russian government denies knowledge or participation in the operation. NTV's senior crime reporter Ngina Kirori delves more into the matter.
It was supposed to be a first-time journey out of Kenya, brimming with the hope of a steady stream of income and a fresh start for his family.
So because we didn't ask for you.
But in what he terms as a dubious scheme by the agency he chose to facilitate his travel, Jack, not his real name, was caught up in unfamiliar territory.
We were informed that we were going to work at like military camps, but not as military, servicemen. We was like subordinates, helping inside the camp, like drivers, in the kitchen.
Jack believed that he would be a driver in Russia, but that drastically changed after he landed in the post-Soviet country in September 2025.
Immediately we got there and interacted with some of the Kenyans. That's when we knew, like, okay, honestly, there's no other job from here because it's a process. The others who have gone through the same process we are going through, and none has been given, like the jobs you guys were promised. It's a front line. You have to go to the war front.
Jack and 3 other Kenyans he traveled with had their phones and passports confiscated.
I have no experience in military at all. I've never held a gun, fired a gun. So psychologically that was a bit disturbing.
The IT expert waited anxiously as the Russian authorities began processing him to go to the front line. But a silver lining would arise from some delays in deploying them.
The second week is when I was going to be deployed. And that's when we had planned to actually contact the embassy and run away.
On 22nd September 2025, through the help from the Kenyan embassy, they fled Russia. The Kenyan authorities in Russia stating that most Kenyans are brought in on a tourist visa, which makes it hard for them to track them. Jack went to Russia through a local recruitment agency, which helped to facilitate his travel and placement. He says the agency asked him to pay 60,000 Kenya shillings for the visa fees.
But once we got to Russia, we got to find out everything was covered by the Russian side. So, it was like a scam, I'd say.
Alex, not his real name either, is currently serving on the front line of the war between Russia and Ukraine. Unlike Jack, Alex has experience from working in the military forces in Kenya. His duties include delivering food to the Russian soldiers. He also helps in collecting dead bodies of Russian soldiers who are on the front line. Alex says he was helped to understand his contract through a translator. When his visa comes to an end, he plans to renew his contract in order to escape the minimal pay and high cost of living loop he experienced in Kenya. NTV reached out to the Russian embassy in Kenya regarding this report, but we received no response. We also reached out to Kenya's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They stated, and I quote, "The ministry is aware of a syndicate that is trafficking Kenyans to Russia under the context of performing operational jobs, only to find themselves on the front line. About 29 Kenyans are being held involuntarily at Belgorod, which is several kilometers from Moscow, where there is a Wagner military base. The ministry has raised this with the Russian embassy in Kenya and is also in discussion with authorities from Kiev. The Russian authorities deny any involvement from the government and resolutely refute suspicions that the embassy or any other authority of the Russian Federation may be involved in irregular recruitment activities of Kenyans.
It is suspected that since July, agents based in Kenya and Russia have been deploying Kenyans to the post-Soviet country on the pretext that they're going to work operational jobs, only to end up on the front line. Kenyan authorities now say that their mission is to rescue Kenyans who are still stranded in Russia. Ngina Kirori, NTV.